307 is starting this Saturday. We're going to be starting off our video on our predictions with Joaquin Buckley versus Steven Wonderboy Thompson. Who do you got?
I think I'm going to have to take Buckley on this one, but by a very small margin.
I'm going with Buckley too. I think he's going to be able to close the distance on Steven and use his grappling and get some good ground and pound off. I'm going with Buckley by decision with a slight chance of Buckley by a ground and pound TKO, probably in the second round.
Right. So why would you say that you want Buckley over Wonderboy?
Well, first off, the honest truth is that Wonderboy is 40. He's probably in the decline of his career now. Buckley, I think he's early 30s still. And so just the matter of fact of the age, Buckley, he's more hungry. He has a better chance to get to the belt. And he just got done fighting a guy who's 6'5". He doesn't have the range control of Steven, who has probably the best range control of all time in his prime. But he has experience dealing with guys who are better in the range than him.
So I would say that because Buckley is a little bit more aggressive, and like you said, Wonderboy is just is getting older.
Yeah.
And so I think that Buckley's going to bring a little bit more energy into the fight and end up taking the TKO or decision win on this one.
Yeah, for safety, I'm going to go with decision. How about you?
Decision. Yep.
All right.
Move on to the next one. So that's our prelim fight prediction.
The featured prelim.
Featured prelim. Let's go ahead and go to the main card first fight. It's going to be
Kevin Holland versus Roman Dolidze.
Kevin Holland, Roman Dolidze. Okay. Go ahead.
In the middleweight division, we got Kevin Holland, Roman Dolidze. Roman, I believe he's ranked number 10 at middleweight, and Kevin Holland is 15 at welterweight. Kevin Holland is the favorite for this fight slightly, but I'm going to go with Roman Dolidze by decision.
I agree with Dolidze by decision, but just like the other fight, it's going to be kind of close.
Mm-hmm.
Both of these guys could come out with a win under the right circumstances. Kevin Holland is a little bit unpredictable, so he could find that perfect strike on the chin before the end of the fight. And then how does the first round going to go, would you say?
I think Roman Dolidze is going to be pushing forward, trying to get a takedown on Holland, try to push him to the fence. Maybe we're going to see some Neil Magny approved, like clinch on the fence, knees to the thighs. We're probably going to get a lot of that from Dolidze. And I just think overall Dolidze is going to win on the control time. Holland will probably end up doing more damage, honestly. Right. I think he's the harder hitter out of the two of them. But I think Dolidze is just going to look better in front of the judges with all the control time. Right,
exactly. I think that Kevin Holland is going to play it safe for the first round. And I think Dolidze is going to be pushing him back and put him into the fence, kind of like you said, and it's going to be in a clinch situation. But I think ultimately Dolidze is just going to kind of wear him down a little bit. And then by the third round, how do you think the third round is going to go?
I don't see Dolidze having enough power to finish Holland with a KO at all. And I think their jiu-jitsu is even enough that there won't be a submission on either side. So, yeah, definitely going to be Dolidze control time, just maybe not significant strikes, but regular strikes overall more than Holland.
Sure. So 2 rounds for Dolidze, 1 round for Holland. Is that right?
Yeah, probably the third round for Holland if he gets around. So, yeah, Dolidze by decision with a slight chance of maybe a Holland KO.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you never know when the KOs come flying through.
Yeah, you might knock him out from full guard again.
Both these guys have some knockout power if they put it in the right spot. But for the record, we'll call for decision for Dolidze. Decision for Dolidze. Moving on to Ketlen Vieira and Kayla Harrison. What do you got to say about this?
This is a given fight for Kayla Harris. She's 100% going to win.
Right, agreed. She beats Ketlen Vieira pretty much on every stat.
Yeah,
and Ketlen Vieira does come from Brazil, but Harrison is outmatches her on the ground, outmatches her on the feet, and Ketlen Vieira also has basically a long history of decision wins, whereas Kayla Harrison has like knockout and submission power behind her. One thing to note though is that Ketlen Vieira is plus 600 at the time of this taping to win. And I believe to win by submission, I think she's like a plus 3,000, which I think is her only opportunity to possibly win.
Yeah, that would probably be how she would win, just getting a submission out of nowhere, honestly.
Right. She'd have to get just like that right position, second or third round, to sneak the arm bar or the guillotine or something like that, rear naked choke. So I think that's her only chance at winning. So if you do have, my way of thinking. So if you got $10 or $15,
I'll put it on Tony Ferguson to win
on the long bet. Yeah, if Ferguson comes back, put $1 on him and win $1 million.
Yeah, the short notice fight he's gonna have with Islam at 311, put it on him.
Anything can happen, bro.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. So, of course, we're going to go Kayla Harrison now. Was it for decision, or do we call her for a TKO submission? What do we call her?
Probably a ground and pound TKO. I think Vieira will be able to survive his submission attempts, but end up getting ground and pounded on the ground.
Right. I agree with you that she just has so much power and technique over Ketlen Vieira. This is going to be one of the rare female fights where you actually are most likely going to see
a finish.
Most of the time, I recommend go ahead and put the bet in the over 2.5 rounds, but I'd almost squeeze in an under 2.5 on this one because the mismatch is so great on this one. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next fight. We have Jose Aldo versus Mario Batista.
We got a bantamweight Glover Teixeira. Aldo, he's like almost 40 now, but I think he's honestly going to win this fight. I think he's just got so much, crafty vet skill, as Lucas Tracy would say.
Right.
And Mario Batista, he hasn't fought the high enough competition that Aldo has. I think he's going to be able to just completely school him on the feet, get him with those really good leg kicks and body shots, wear him down, and either get a decision or a late round TKO, late third round. Yeah,
I agree with you 100%. This one really comes down to experience. Mario Batista just really doesn't have the pro champion level fighter experience that Jose Aldo does.
Yeah, Aldo has like 8 championship fights.
Yeah, he's getting older, but there's just something to having the experience that even when you're older. Take an example, our previous fight tonight would have been Wonderboy, right?
And
Buckley, right? And Wonderboy's got a little bit more than 40 years on him, and he's still just an elite performer. So Jose Aldo, I think it's going to be relatively pretty close to the same. So how are we going to call this one?
Aldo by decision. Yeah, actually, you know what? Let's risk Aldo by late round TKO since there's already 2 decisions on here. Okay,
go for it. Late round TKO. Moving on, let's go ahead and go to the the
co-main event.
Co-main event.
Yeah, good thing Pereira was able to come in on short notice. People wouldn't be happy if this was the main event.
Raquel Pennington versus Julianna Peña. Champions for the title for the bantamweight, for the female bantamweight.
Yeah.
Right, against number 1 contender Julianna Peña. And then how's this one going to play out?
It's going to be Raquel Pennington by decision.
Right, I agree. Raquel Pennington by decision. And it's not. If you watch her fights, she's going to slow play most of it. She has a whole lot of decision.
Yeah, she fights like Anthony Smith. That's the truth, honestly.
Right. So, but she has enough skill to basically win decisions, and that's probably how it's going to be this time. I want to say she's a minus 170 plus 142, so there's a chance that Peña could win. But we'll stick with the easy bet and go with Raquel Pennington. All right, let's go ahead and move to the main event of the evening, the title fight for light heavyweight.
Alex Pereira versus Khalil Rountree.
Right.
This is an interesting fight. We thought Pereira was going to fight Ankalaev, but he's fighting Rountree. Rountree brings interesting dynamic to this fight with his Muay Thai style. He's going to try and prove that he's a Muay Thai guy in the UFC and not Pereira, who's a more traditional kickboxer.
Right.
But overall, I'm going to have to go with Pereira just because he's been fighting the top 5 guys, and his best win is in Anthony Smith.
Right. True.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a very well-rounded kind of a fight. In fact, by that I mean that it's going to be a lot of kicks and punches from both sides. So it's not just going to be like a traditional boxing match. You're going to have kicks from both sides. Alex Pereira tends to favor the calf kicks,
and
right? And then Khalil Rountree is a little bit more of a straight kick type of a fighter. And then you saw that one. Who did he mess up the knee of?
I don't remember his name, but it was the really good oblique kick. Right. He got his leg all the way up there and just
like bent it backwards, basically. All right, so let's go with first, second round. How you feeling about now? First of all, we're going to go ahead and agree that Alex Pereira is going to win this one, right?
Yeah,
it's knockout. Okay. How does the first, second, and third round play out? Excuse me, fourth and fifth and all that.
Well, fourth and fifth, I don't think it's happening.
Not getting to the championship.
I don't think third is happening. Second is probably lucky for Khalil.
Right. Do you think Alex Pereira is going to end up like unscathed through all of this, or do you think he's going to catch some heat?
I mean, he's been very active, which I don't know if that helps or negatively affects him, honestly. We see with Diego Lopez, he's been fighting pretty much just as much as Pereira. He just seems to keep getting better and better. But at these heavier weight classes, maybe you're taking a little bit more damage than a featherweight. But didn't he just break his toe fighting Yuri, so maybe he will have some more scars on him. I think Khalil, is coming from a kickboxing background, unlike Jamal Hill and Yuri Prohaska. I think he'll be able to do a little bit more damage. Overall, probably a second round TKO. I think Khalil Rountree can get past the first round. I think it will be more technical than Jamal and Yuri, and he won't get instantly just hit with a really big left hook.
So what's the key for Khalil Rountree to possibly come out with a win on this one? What does he have to do?
What does he have to do? Well, he can't fear Alex Pereira. That's the first thing. I think Jamal Hill, in that fight, he seemed like timid and not ready to just go after him. He was always backing up. He got pushed to the cage and eventually got knocked out. You got to kind of push Pereira. If you ask me, I think you kind of have to grapple Pereira, even if you're not, really good at grappling yourself. You got to at least give him something else to worry about, because if you just have a kickboxing match with them, you're not going to be that Hall of Fame kickboxer like Alex Pereira.
I would say that Khalil Rountree's advantage in possible opening against Pereira is the fact that he is so, I guess, strong or big, muscular-wise, that if he rushes Alex Pereira, then Alex Pereira is going to try to step back. This put him on the defense, basically putting Alex Pereira on the defense. But still, even then, Alex Pereira is good enough that he's going to slip back and then throw a counter at you. But I think if Khalil's like strong enough and can push hard enough, then I think that he can at least make Alex run for a round or two, round and a half before getting knocked out.
Yeah, that's a good point. I know most of the guys that Alex has fought has been 6 foot over. I don't think Khalil Rountree is that. He's a little bit shorter, stockier, so that'll be interesting to see how Pereira will try to fight a guy like that.
Sure. All right, so we got Alex Pereira for the win. I think, did you say
second round knockout?
Second round knockout. Okay, I'm gonna go a little bit more lenient and say third round knockout.
Mm-hmm.
And so, cool. Let's see how that goes. We just posted up a new video on Alex Pereira.
Oh yeah, 3 legendary title runs that I think everybody would agree would be kind of hilarious if they were able to get back to Pereira.
Yeah, go check that out. Appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
See you then.
All right.